will release new iPhones in September, and you can pretty much set your watch by when that's going to happen. And this year was no disappointment, was it? I would
We
fair
were
to say.
earlier this time. Well, we had it on a Monday rather than a Tuesday, didn't we?
We did, but it was good. I managed to catch it. I was a little bit late to the
Honestly,
party by a few
you
minutes,
were. I was like, oh no, not again, Joe.
but no, the stars aligned. Family situation. I was able to sit at my kitchen table with an iPad watching it, and I wasn't disappointed. I think I was 10 minutes in behind you, wasn't I,
Yeah.
on the thing? So I think we'll jump into the products in a minute, but I think as events go, they continue just to get better, don't they? The production quality, as always, phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. They were zooming in and out all over San Francisco, weren't they?
Yeah, and those transitions from the outdoor space, and as you say, they were filming all around San Francisco. They were up at sort of near Golden Gate. They were down sort of in the parks, and they were on the at Coit Tower. But the transitions for when they spun the camera around or zoomed out, and then they were in the studio were seamless, weren't they?
It
Really
was
were.
very, very clever.
Really, really impressive stuff. And the lighting, I mean, I know they say a lot. They say it's all filmed on an iPhone, which is always impressive. And I
Yeah.
guess we'll talk a bit more about some of that filming in a minute when we talk about the iPhones themselves. But as always, absolute phenomenal quality. And it ran. I don't know. What do you think? I thought it ran long.
Yeah, we were what, an hour and a half, more or less.
Yeah, it did seem to go on for quite a bit of time.
Considering
But it
there
was
wasn't a huge, there were less products being released than I thought they were going to be or announced at the event. So yeah, I was surprised it went for an hour and a half.
yeah, I just think they probably covered. I think they did a deep dive on a lot of things, perhaps more than we thought they were going to do. I think that might be the case.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably a good place. Let's jump straight in. So let's talk about Apple Watch 10 then, because this was the kind of one or two major announcements, wasn't it, at the event? Apple Watch 10 being the big one that's been talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, our first question: were you surprised?
I was surprised that. Well, no, I wasn't. I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I still thought maybe, just maybe, it's a 10-year anniversary. We might get a radically different design or something
Well, it is.
special.
It's bigger and thinner.
It's the same phone. It's the same watch. It looks identical. It takes the same band system. Yes, it's got a slightly larger display, which has allowed them to make it thinner because they've stretched it out, and by doing that, they've managed to thin it out as well. But yeah, apparently it's the thinnest Apple Watch ever. Was it 9.7 millimeters?
Well, that's what they say every year, though, isn't it? They're the best of the thinnest
Yeah,
of this.
it is. But yeah, the big bit was the new wide angle OLED display, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think yeah. So let's, I guess, be honest here. Look, I know Apple say every year they it's the thinnest and lightest, but the the way that they have miniaturized the internal components, and as you say, they put that OLED screen in is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I'd almost go as far as saying, if I didn't know any different, you'd be like, this is some kind of black magic here, because how is it we have managed to get to a point in time where we can pack all of that technology, battery, CPUs, communication systems, and plus the sensor sets into a device that, as you say, is 9.7 millimeters thick, and appear bigger as well.
Yep. And it does look bigger, though. It's a little larger screen, yes, but it looks like it's thicker bezels on it.
Well, yeah. So this is the
Whether
thing.
that's an illusion, I don't know. It just looks like it's a thicker bezel on it.
Well, so these are now the new watch series have got bigger sizes, haven't we? So let's be kind of, there's a bigger size, which is now what, the 46 millimeter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is the step up.
1 millimeter bigger, because the last one was 45, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's right. It was 45 before, so we've now got 46. The screen is 40% brighter than the Series 9 that came before it. We've got on board that as well. We've got, so I say, brighter display, better viewing angles. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know about you, but I've never had an issue viewing my watch. Have you?
No. I usually lift my wrist up and I can see it. But yeah, you can see it from all sorts of angles now.
Yeah, apparently so. And when they put it on the screen, it did look a lot bigger. I can't deny that, and I think part of that is that they've increased the screen size by a couple of pixels now, haven't they?
Yeah,
So if you were to put it next to an Ultra,
yeah.
it looks bigger, doesn't it?
It
When you
does
put
look
when the
bigger than the
pictures.
Ultra 2, yeah.
Now, it isn't actually bigger, I don't think, but the screen appears bigger. And I think when we looked at the pixel count, I think when we talked about it the other day, weren't we? The
Hmm.
pixel count was it was ever so slightly higher, wasn't it, by a couple of pixels?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it
I
was.
think that I think when I read somewhere that it was like in real world, one or two characters could be fitted on the screen more. But if you look at the way that some of the screen, the faces versus the ultra faces, um, the standard Apple Watch typically has I don't want to say sort of bigger, blockier watch faces, but you tend to find those compared to the ones on the Ultra that have a lot more complications on, don't they? Typically
They
speaking.
do, and I think it's just I think it's the overall design. Obviously, the Ultra's quite where it gets to the edge of the screen, it just kind of drops off, doesn't it? It's quite
Yeah.
square. Whereas if you look at the traditional Series 9 and 10, it's very rounded, and I think it just makes it look bigger than what it is.
Yeah. So the other thing there is that we've now got two different versions of the watch. We have the aluminium version, which apparently
Yeah.
is 10% lighter than the Series 9,
Yep.
and of course, because Apple love it, titanium now is the new version, isn't it?
Which is even lighter than the 10% lighter one. Yeah. So it doesn't
10%
say
lighter.
how much lighter, but it is
No.
lighter than the non-titanium one.
But also slightly more expensive than the aluminium one.
Yeah, I think you can option one considerably more expensive than an Ultra.
It is. It is very expensive, and we've got the new Hermes straps. I mean, because Hermes, why not?
Have you ordered one to go with yours?
No, I haven't. We'll come back to that in a minute.
So you got the
what do we
S10
get?
chip, didn't you? So you got a new CPU
That
or
was it.
sock
Yep,
as well,
new
which
sock
is,
on it.
and I think obviously faster performance, like it's always meant to be, improved call quality, but it's got a bit of a beefed up neural engine, hasn't it, or AI Lite as they're kind of calling it, so that you can do more locally. Obviously, it's not going to run Apple Intelligence; it doesn't have that grunt, but a subset of it, I think.
Yeah, and you don't need to be running Apple Intelligence on it, as you say, because it's going to do handoff from the watch. So anything, I guess, that could leverage that is going to be driven on the watch. Sorry, the phone side of things, isn't it? They're also go on. Sorry.
I'm about to say, to add though, even though it is a larger watch, it will still use the same bands as the 9. So they haven't moved to this new alleged magnetic system. It is the same old clip-in bands.
That's right. And apparently the other thing is it's got a new fast charging system as well, hasn't it? So apparently now they can charge up to 80% in 30 minutes now as well.
I think that was a theme going through the phones as well. They've got a lot faster charging capabilities.
They have, haven't they? So this actually, even though it isn't a new design, so to speak, it is the first time since 2021 that the design of the watch has fundamentally changed.
As in, it's got bigger.
Yeah.
yeah. But one cool thing they did mention, though, was sleep apnea detection.
Yes, they did. Now, this is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for those that think they may suffer from it. So I know it's quite involved to go and get tests and stuff done. But if this could give you an insight into whether you potentially have it or not, and the data to back up to go see your doctor with, who can then obviously send you to specialists, I think that could be quite compelling. That's going coming to the Ultra 2 as well, isn't it? They've said.
Yes, so that's leveraging the existing sensor sets that are in there as well. So I'm guessing it's combining the breathing SO2 monitor with the pressure monitor, not pressure, excuse me. The heart blood oxygen. That's the one I was looking at. And obviously using that, probably some very clever algorithms in there as well, isn't there, to look at that and doing it. I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's very cool, but they didn't say whether this is going to work in the US or not. Because obviously the blood oxygen is currently banned in the US because they're under a lawsuit, aren't they, with Maximo, I want to say?
That's the one, yeah. And they still don't appear to have settled this, do they? So you're right. It was very clear that none of this was explained in the actual presentation. You're not going to do that. I'm surprised because Apple could make this go away in a heartbeat.
They could do, but does that then set a precedence that a patent troll comes after them and they pay up?
Yeah, but this seems a stronger case than just being a patent troll, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so, but
I agree with you. There was no indication.
Open the floodgates, but yeah, I don't know how it works exactly. So whether it will be in the US version, even without blood oxygen, so maybe they're not using that, or maybe they've just negated to say that, hoping they'll fix the blood oxygen problem before go time.
Possibly, maybe that's what they're aiming for. But given that the watches themselves, then before we I think we'll just take a quick jump forward to come back. Watches are available from next Friday.
They are. They are.
So you were able to pre-order straight after the event for the watch, and they're available on the 20th. But yeah, so who knows? But for us in the UK at least, we should be good to go with this.
We should do,
but,
yeah.
But I have to say, I'm absolutely looking forward to testing this sleep apnea. Not because I want to have sleep apnea, but sometimes I kind of wonder whether I have, based on some of the, and it's quite common apparently, to understand that. So it'd be interesting to see, and just think, how many people have discovered that they've had heart conditions because of the watch as well. They're very well documented now how clever that the system is, and how accurate it is as well. I mean, I think I might have said before, I remember going to the doctor's hospital a couple of years back, some pains in my chest.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, "Oh, I see you're wearing an Apple Watch. Has that told you anything?" I was like, "Well, no." And she said to me, "Well," she said pretty much it's as accurate as ECGs we use in the hospital, within reason. Yeah. So I'm been pretty confident if it said you got sleep apnea, it's probably not far off the truth, is it? So
exactly. One other thing they did kind of launch, not a new Ultra, but a new color for the Ultra.
Well, before we get into that, I was going to say we missed out a new couple of features in the S10.
Oh, have we?
Yeah. So don't forget, now it's got a new Tides app and a new snorkeling app as well for the Series 10.
Yes.
Exactly. So if you recall, when the Ultra launched, the Ultra was all about diving, wasn't it?
It was.
And it was, you could go super deep, and it's still waterproof. And it had the Oceanic diving app, didn't it? That was kind of the big partnership.
Yep.
But the Series 10, one of the big opening things they talked about it was the snorkeling application.
So you can't go diving, but here have a snorkel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it had the new depth application, that it also did water temperature. It had the Tides app for your area, and just to say, and new swim workouts as well was one of the things that came up.
The water temperature one, are they just using the built-in kind of vague temperature sensor?
I have to be honest with you, I did wonder
how cycle tracking, wasn't it, and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder how that is working. I suspect it's probably going to be. I mean, according to Apple themselves, so I did look this up. So according to Apple themselves, it's built into the depth application. So the depth application measures underwater temperature, your duration, and depth on it, and that's currently available on the Watch Ultra. So I think they've ported this across, by the way.
Okay, I take my Ultra 2 swimming, but I hadn't actually noticed water temperature. I noticed that if I look at it underwater, it shows my depth and stuff, but maybe I just need to look a bit closer to see if it shows water temperature.
Yes, apparently. So apparently it was available on the Ultra. So I'm thinking this is just a port across.
Yeah.
And don't forget, with the Ultra, you can go to 40 meters or 130 feet in depth.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I'm not sure entirely how sure the other one is, but we'll see. But it would be interesting to see. But yeah, so that's come about. They're available now on the S10. So all those new features. So yes, Ultra. So did we get an Ultra 3? No, we didn't.
No.
No. And before you get into that color, it was quite telling, because after they did the S10 and they started talking about the Ultra, do you remember I think I said to you when we were having a chat, they just kept referring to the Ultra Watch series, Ultra series, or whatever. I can't remember the wording, didn't they? But they never said Ultra 3. It was continually just Ultra when they came into it.
It was indeed. It was. But yeah, it was a brief one. They announced a new color. It was the color I wanted them to bring out last year when I bought my Ultra 2, the buggers. But yeah, they came out with what they call it, satin black.
Otherwise known as iPhone 7 black.
Yeah, no, it's because it's not shiny.
No, it's not as glossy as it. No,
it's not as glossy as the Darth Vader black on the 7 and on the Watch 10. But yeah, it does look very nice. And they did release a new titanium woven band, didn't they?
Yeah, so you got the new Milanese titanium loop, which
very cool looking clip.
Very cool looking clip. Reminded me of kind of like a aircraft harness clipping in, didn't it?
Yeah. I did go to look at that. I thought, maybe I'll get myself the strap.
No,
it comes in the black one as well as the matching for the Ultra 2. And then I saw the price of £200 and I went, no, that's okay. I will get a cheap Amazon knockoff in a couple of months.
Yes, you will. So that really kind of with the new big out features. The Watch Ultra 2 picks up the new Tides app as part of WatchOS 11, and nothing else really has changed on the Ultra.
No.
I guess, to be honest with you, if it ain't broke, why fix?
Yeah, I be honest. Other than wanting a darker color, I can't think of anything else I need on the Ultra 2 right now.
And I wonder whether or not the Maximo case has impacted this.
Could have well have done. Yeah, maybe there's more than just blood oxygen at stake here. Maybe some other stuff they're working on is also being held up.
Yeah. So my view here is that if they hadn't have launched a new color, they probably could have got away with not doing anything with the Ultra this year.
Yeah, I think so.
But I guess it was kind of, well, we'll give somebody something to do it and go forward. I mean, don't get me wrong, that black titanium it looks good, and
does your order still stand for it?
It does.
It looked good enough to order. I know, because I know you were umming and ahhing about swapping out for a Watch 10. I didn't know if you'd changed your mind yet.
So I'm still in that process. So I'm currently rocking it. Here's my strap. You probably heard that. I'm still rocking a Watch 8 in product red. It looks really nice. I do like it. In fact, I like product red. Should be in more things. There should be more product red.
Yeah, I like a product red Pro Max.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really nice. I like it. Does good. You know, I wanted an Ultra before. I couldn't justify it. I am the nard. I went back to the S8.
An Ultra before and sent it
I
back.
did buy an Ultra, but I've gone back to the S8. So I'm kind of like, I like it. It's cool. We'll stick with it. However, with the black Ultra, I am now like, that's nice. I really, really like that. So yes, I have placed an order for a Watch Ultra 2 in black, not with the Milanese strap. Though I have flip-flopped several times. Pardon?
You poor boy.
So I have flip-flopped several times for an S10 with one of the Nike straps, which is what I rock now.
Yeah.
And I keep coming back to it. And there is part of me, there's still part of me that thinks the S10 might be the right watch. Because when you look at apart from the ruggedness and the additional battery life, right, which I'll be honest with you, is
a big point
really massive driver for me. If it wasn't for that, the S10 with all of its new capabilities actually ticks a lot of boxes.
Well, what do you look? You're doing a pickup, not a delivery, aren't you? So you could still change your mind probably at the last moment at the store. You could look at them side by side and go, don't want to spend the extra, whatever it is, 350 odd quid or whatever on the Ultra 2 above the Watch 10.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. So yeah, I thought we'd talk about this at the end, but yeah, I will say, I have pre-ordered my watch. My Watch 2. I will see. I'm definitely going to see. I'm going to have to think about it. And you're right. I do think it's going to be something to consider when I go pick it up.
Yeah, you can see it in real life.
Exactly. But apart from that, though, I think quite pleased from the S10 perspective. Some nice upgrades. You're right. No radical real changes. But it looks big. It looks good, and I'm sure it'll sell really, really well.
Well, it is the number one selling watch in the world, isn't it? So,
well, yeah. I mean, if you think about Apple Watch, I know this is something probably aware of, but it is. If you took it as a business unit, they're bigger than Rolex. They're bigger than other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do sell very well. So then, what else did we get then? Let's talk about the next release.
We got some new AirPods, didn't we?
We did.
Some not quite so new AirPods, but we'll get to that in a minute. So we got the AirPods 4, but surprisingly this year there are 2 versions of it. So
yes,
we got a new design. Looks a bit more like the AirPods Pro, doesn't it? It's got a shorter stem. Doesn't have the silicone tips, but does look more pro-y. It's a new shaped bit that goes in your ear. I mean, Apple said they kind of mapped and analyzed thousands of ears.
Yeah,
using 3D photogrammetry, laser topography, and all sorts of whizzy names to design like a more comfortable, a better fitting AirPod. It's got the H2 chip from the Pros, isn't it? So it's been upgraded from H1 and H2. It's got a redesigned charging case. It's 10% smaller and supports USB-C. Great. But yeah, the two models. We have a base one that's $129, but doesn't come with active noise cancellation.
Nope.
And the $179 model does. Now, that more expensive model also gains is it adaptive audio, transparency mode, and conversational awareness.
Yeah, so it's almost like a Pro Lite.
Yeah, it's a middle ground between the AirPods and the AirPods Pro, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting move here by them. I'm surprised they're fragmenting their lineup so much.
Yeah,
but we haven't had a Pro change since the Pro 2s.
No, we have
So
not.
The Pro 2s was the last one. We had the last AirPods were 2021, by the way, as well. That was AirPods 3.
When were the Pro 2s out then? Was that 2020?
Yeah.
So 4 years. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get a Pro 3.
I'm surprised. But interesting though, I think you're right with the updates for the AirPods 4. I think for most users, they give you a great, really great middle ground. I think though the problem is, as I say, if they're not releasing the Pros, a lot of those features, the ANC, the transparency of the stuff that I use, all the conversation awareness, they're all the stuff I use on the Pros all the time. What's the difference
between this premium AirPods 4, the more expensive one, and the Pros?
Well, not much, realistically, at this stage, is there? Apart from the fitting tips. The other thing the only thing they haven't got is the other feature we're probably going to step in to talk about next, is the hearing aid capability.
Yes. Well, but first, before that, we will talk about the new AirPods Max.
Oh, yes. Yes. What have we, Max? Oh, my God. We've been waiting, 4 years for this?
Yeah, it's not the Max 2s, I'm afraid, guys. Apple have just taken the Maxes, slapped on some new paint, chucked a USB-C port in there, and called it a day. But you have got 5 colors to choose from now. So we've got midnight, starlight, blue, orange, and purple. And that's it. Yeah. So moving swiftly on to the.
Oh, hang on! Don't forget they got a USB-C port.
Oh, I said that.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you did. Sorry, yeah, you did. Yeah, USB-C.
New colors and USB-C. That's all you're getting.
Yeah. Sorry, by mistake. I misheard you.
Are they still busting the H1 chips?
Got to be, haven't they?
I think they are. They haven't even got the H2 chips in them. So
no, but I guess again, it works. Why change it? I mean,
people must still be buying these at $500 odd.
Yeah. Clearly, they must be. Yeah.
But probably the best one, the AirPods Pro. Not a new version, just a software upgrade. It was always there, but it needs to be approved by the FDA and other medical things. But yeah, clinical grade hearing aid capabilities now.
This is phenomenal. Really,
so you'll be able to use them as a hearing aid. They've also got modes for hearing protection, ability to use them as earplugs. Are supposed to completely block out all noise in loud environments. But yeah, apparently they've just been approved by the FDA or about to be. And so
it has been approved. It has been approved. Yeah. Yeah, because I think you're right. The hearing aid thing, to take a kind of small pause there, that capability was always there to a degree to use the AirPods as a sound amplification device.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
which you could do. But you're right. This actually takes it all the way to become I think the words are, wasn't it? Clinical grade hearing aid, isn't it?
It does hearing tests, doesn't it? It will do proper hearing tests, and then augment the sounds, whether it's real life sounds or whether it's stuff you're playing. So it actually sounds like it should do.
And that test, as they say, is based on the same tests I think obviously are run in the US. I think by looking at it, from my understanding, it's a pretty standard international hearing test as well. The tones, isn't it?
My wife wears hearing aids. They're a damn sight more expensive than a pair of AirPod Pros. I will tell you that, like tenfold or more than that. But when you go to get it done, they put stuff in your ears, like probes in your ears, and it shoots all sorts of different frequency sounds out and listens for what you get back, so it can kind of map out your ears and all sorts of things.
And these obviously aren't going to be for people with severe hearing loss or capabilities, but these are what they say mild to moderate hearing loss, aren't they? Exactly. And I have to say, having obviously not kind of the same issues as your wife has, obviously, because has you say require hearing aids, but I really struggle in areas where there's a lot of typical sort of background noise or a lot of white or brown noise. I can't hear people, and I find myself now having to look at people to hear what they're saying. That's a really
partial
weird
lip
thing.
read, but just to give you a hint about what they're actually saying.
Yeah, and it's kind of getting worse. So actually, I'm kind of intrigued to try this out and see if there's any improvement.
Sure,
The
they
only
said
thing that,
December in the UK.
yeah,
What
the
they
only
were
thing that
aiming
makes
for.
me laugh was when they showed the video, didn't they, of it? They had like a family scene and
Yes.
like a family party, and then and it was kind of muffled, wasn't it? And then
Grandma couldn't hear what was going on.
the grandma put her AirPods in, and grandma could hear. And I thought, and then they showed another one that you're at a gig, and they were saying about like, oh, you can wear these at the gig. I mean, I'm sorry. The only problem I've got here is if you're in a conversation, and you've got these in, it's going to look like you're wearing. Yeah, yeah, basically. That's my only concern on that point of view. But I'm actually, this is phenomenal, and this is, I think, where we were talking about a while ago about Apple being a force for good.
Yeah.
And Apple wants to position itself, doesn't it? Not just as a company that builds tech, but changes lives. And this is part of that. This whole thing, you look at the watches. They're not just watches, they're health systems, aren't they? They're not just a Fitbit style tracking device, but it's a whole health computer on there that is, making accurate predictions about, serious parts of your health, advising you on emergency conditions. Alongside this, we've got hearing aid capabilities now that are giving people, access to hearing. There'll be people out there who have got AirPods, but perhaps don't realize their hearing's as bad, or perhaps can't afford, I guess, the more medical grade hearing aids for whatever reason. So I really think this is going to open up massive avenues for new people to be going, you know what, that's a really good way to help my hearing or help my sleep, or track my health or whatever it is, you know what I mean, from that sleep apnea piece. So I'm really kind of intrigued with this, and it makes you wonder what is coming next, because we've been talking for years about the glucose monitoring, haven't we, and the other stuff, and blood pressure. I just think they're not far off. That's not far off at all,
Maybe.
But so we didn't get AirPods Pro then, but the AirPods Pro 2 clearly are sticking around for some time, I would say.
At least till next year.
At least till next year. Annoyingly, I'm not going to be buying a new case with USB-C on it, though, for mine. I'm going to live with Lightning for a while.
You're going to limp along for another year, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. But because actually, they do what they say on the tin. I can't argue with them. They're perfect. I was wearing them this morning. So, they are very useful. And as I kind of eulogized before, for me, the whole ecosystem of just picking up my AirPods, put it in my ears, and they work on that device without any connection, any configuration, is just, to me, that is the epitome of user experience. If I have to click something, if I have to say connect, if I have to do that, no, it works. And despite, I know people talk about Apple and all the environment, the ecosystem, but ultimately, I just want it to work. And they do. So yeah, hats off. Anyway, off that tangent. So right then, I think that's probably a good place to move then to the showstopper announcement then, didn't it?
Well, I don't know. Showstopper, they were upgrades, but like everything, there was nothing revolutionary here, was there?
That we hadn't heard.
That we hadn't heard about. So yeah, what do we get? We'll start with the iPhone 16. We still get the same, 6.1 and 6.7 for the Plus, sizing-wise. We got all the buttons. Buttons. So we got the action button, makes its way from the Pro, which had it last year, didn't it? There's also the new camera control button. So this is on the side of the power button, isn't it? And it's kind of touch sensitive, so you can click it from a lock screen to take you straight into the camera, click it in, take a photo. But it's also got a touch sensitive kind of capacitive bit. You can slide your finger along, can't you? So you can kind of gently press and slide to maybe zoom in, zoom out, switch between different settings and stuff, to kind of give you the ability to change camera configuration and settings without having to take your fingers off and go tap away on the screen.
It's quite a clever little button, actually. And when they sort of stripped it away, didn't they, and showed you the design of it in the phone, very, clearly, we Apple are definitely getting away from anything that has mechanical aspect to it. Yeah.
It's very much like the touchpad on a Mac, isn't it? Obviously,
it is a haptic sort of.
So a haptic kind of click. It can detect the pressure you're putting down, but also the slidey bar.
So the phone itself, though, hasn't really changed design, apart from those buttons, hasn't really
No,
changed.
design
Hardware
the
was
same. Yeah. What we got the new 18 chip, didn't we, to go with
yep.
it? So we
New
didn't.
but a new camera on there. Don't forget there was
Yeah.
a new wide angle
Yeah,
camera
new
lens, wasn't
wide
there?
angle, 48 megapixel one, and the ultra wide's had its aperture widened. They've been stacked on top of each other vertically now, so that you can do spatial video for the
Magic.
7 people that still own a Vision Pro. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I like that. That's
Yeah, I
brilliant.
say it got the A18 chip rather than the expected A17. I suppose that's so it can do Apple Intelligence. It's going to need that new 18 chip because it's got beefier neural engines in it. Display's had a modest improvement. It can go all the way down to 1 nit now, can't it? So it's still the 2000 in direct sunlight, but down to 1 nit at nighttime.
What I mean, that's basically nothing, isn't it? You know?
Basically nothing. It's allegedly 50% tougher ceramic shield. 50% tougher than what?
Well, they can't be any worse because we were having this conversation the other day, weren't we, about phones and the screens. And I've got the 12 and I've got right in front of me now. I've got a 12 and I've got a 14. Now the 12 has some scratches on it. Not too bad, but what you'd expect is 4 years old. The 14 has got 2 reasonable scratches that I can see, and I'm stunned because, as you and I were both saying, it lives in a case with a bezel protector around the edges. It doesn't go around anywhere. It goes in my pocket. Nothing else goes in that pocket with the phone.
Nope.
I don't understand
wherever the scratches come from.
Yeah, exactly. And at night time, it sits in a cradle, or these days it's clipped to a MagSafe connector. I don't, and it hasn't been dropped. I don't get it. I just don't understand.
No, exactly. So I mean, it's so much so. Say, I've ordered the 16 Pro Max, and we'll get to that one. But for the first time ever, I've ordered a screen protector. I've never ever had a screen protector on my phone. I might end up ripping it off after a week, going, I hate that. But I've ordered one to see if I can force myself to use it, just in case the screen is just as terrible as it is on the 14.
Damn.
I know. We'll probably get rid of that shortly. But what else on the 16 though? We actually got some colour.
We did.
Actual nice colours. I wish the Pro Maxes had something. So we got an ultramarine. We got a teal, which was quite a nice green-looking colour, wasn't it?
I like that. Yeah, like a sea green. Yeah.
Pink was quite vivid as well, and we got the traditional white and black. So the ultramarine was kind of bluey, wasn't it?
I like that. It's kind of like a bluey. I mean, the pictures obviously are not. It's not the same, but it looks bluey purpley, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Around the darker bits, but around the camera unit, it looks sort of that darker purpley blue. But I like it. I quite like that. It's a nice colour. Yeah.
Yeah. Pricing didn't go up.
No,
$799 for the 128 and $899 if you want the plus version of that.
I think you're right. It comes in nicely. It's they start at 128 gig as well.
Yep.
And the same obviously for the plus. Not really any difference in that respect. It does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? Really,
Yeah, it was what we were expecting. As I said, it's not revolutionary. It's just a evolution, isn't it?
Yeah, I was to say it's not revolutionary. It's evolution. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose the same can be said for the 16 Pros. Yes, we did get slightly larger screens. So in a more or less the same chassis, we got a 6.3 and a 6.9 inch ones. Does the
6.9 though does look, when you put them together in the pictures, they do look big.
Going to look big.
That's going to make a load. Is that a phone in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me?
But yeah, it also got the capture button from the non-Pro, but apparently this one's slightly different. I presume this is software, really. But apparently you'll be able to half press down to focus, like you would do on an SLR before continuing to press down to take the photo.
Yeah, and as you say, it does the same thing before. You can run your finger up and down, isn't it, for the gestures and that. So yeah, clever little button.
Yeah. Of course, it already had the action button, so it only got one new button this year. We got the Pro A18 Pro, which we're going to talk about the chip in a bit. Apple didn't mention this, but I heard that the Pros were getting a new modem. They're getting a late Snapdragon X75 modem there. Apparently, it will offer up to 25% faster download speeds on 5G.
Oh, I think I saw somewhere about that. I wasn't sure about whether that because it hadn't been announced, but
Yeah,
okay,
apparently the
that's pretty
pros
cool.
only, not the non-pros. So yeah, of course they're still titanium, but apparently now it has a new texture to the titanium and some kind of improved heat management that Apple are alleging gives it 20% faster sustained performance.
Okay.
Well,
Hmm.
we'll see what that's like. I mean, I don't really play games on my phone, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to test that one, but we'll see. Camera,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Camera wise, we got upgrades. We got a new 48 megapixel wide angle again. Should give you better wide angle and better macro shots. We've got the 48 megapixel ultra wide. Interestingly, the 5x telephoto, which was Pro Max only last year, is now coming to the non Max version.
Okay, they've shrunk. They obviously found a way to get that module into the other chassis. Then.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also bringing 4K 120 FPS Dolby Vision recording as well.
Well, that was it. They showed, didn't they? They showed
Yeah.
the new capture piece, which showed the slowdown, and they did that
Oh, it
whole
was the
piece on.
music video in the rain, wasn't it? They did the
Yeah, which
slow
was really
down.
clever. I was going to say, yeah, and that was really interesting to see them shooting the video on an iPhone as well.
Yeah, an iPhone with a rig around it, didn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was going to say it wasn't just an iPhone; it was
Wasn't just a
a
bloke playing
very,
with his iPhone. Yeah, it was a bit more
very cleverly
professional than
put
that.
rig. Yeah, definitely. But no, I think, and they talk about a lot, don't they? How they shoot these on iPhones as well, and
Yeah,
all kind of stuff like that. So yeah, look, the camera stuff's great. You're right,
yeah,
not massively updates. Just in tweaks really on the current existing camera sets, isn't it? Really.
definitely. It'll be nice to have that new 48 megapixel rather than 12 megapixel, the wide angle one, so you can get better macros, and I think that'll be nice. I'll definitely see an improvement there. Yeah, apparently, Apple said the battery life is promised to be improved, but didn't say how much.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, they're not giving you much away there, are they?
No, because usually they say something, don't they? When they're saying we've improved the battery, they give you some kind of figures,
But there was
but
nothing.
they didn't this time. Color wise, it's still very blah. We got. I don't know. There's nothing. It's not like there's a product red that's vibrant and stands out. And I think this is the problem with titanium and trying to get color to it, isn't there? So we've got black, we've got white, we've got natural, and we've got desert titanium, which is I don't know. I think I need to see this one in person. I nearly ordered it. I nearly ordered desert titanium. It's kind of I can't work out whether it's just gold or whether it's a bit more coppery brass color. I've seen so many different photos of it, and it looks different in every single photo. So I don't know on this one.
I think this is the problem, isn't it? It isn't consistent in how it looks in different formats.
No, exactly. If it was a darker coppery color, I think yeah, I'd have that one. But I don't want some gaudy gold color, if you know what I mean. So I think I need to see this one in the store. I wonder if I like it in the store, I could just swap to that. I mean, I ordered a black one. I think you did as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting though, while the prices have gone up on these slightly, the base storage is now 256 and not 128. So yeah, the 16 Pro
I
starts.
yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't think I have to say you're right. The size has gone up, and I've gone for a 512 this time, which I had last time
yeah,
in with the 14.
hmm.
I
Yeah. I
didn't
mean,
think the prices were much higher. To be fair, I thought they were still
no.
reasonably.
Can't remember what I paid, but I mean, I got the 14 Pro Max last time in 256. I'm sure it's around 1300, and this one was around 1400. I don't know, yeah, but anyway, the 16 Pro starts at 999 for 256, and the Pro Max starts at 1200 for 256 again. So yeah, again, not a huge upgrade, but some nice incremental ones, and I'll be interested to see what the battery life is like.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking for the camera upgrades as well. Look, I think I'm on a 2 year upgrade cycle these days.
Yeah.
Clearly I have. I've gone 12, 14, 16. So
Yep.
yeah, let's go for it. Case is already ordered. My Spigeon case is here. Looking to really rock that. So no, let's go for it. As you say, we got our pre-orders done. We're in line for Friday. Both doing pickups. I'm down for this. This is going to be good.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we didn't mention much about the A18 Pro, did we? And Apple didn't really mention too much about it actually. But obviously, we got A18 Pro. The A18 apparently has what a 30% CPU performance improvement over the A16. A 5-core GPU that's allegedly 40% faster than the CPU in the 15 again. Also supports hardware accelerated ray tracing, which wasn't on the non-Pro one last time. It's got the fancy new 16-core neural engine for Apple's AI, hasn't it?
It does, and then you notice the naming changed as well. So the Bionic has gone.
The what has?
So there's no Bionic. So A16 Bionic, A15
Bionic.
Bionic.
Sorry, right. Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. No, it's just A18 or 18 Pro now. Gotcha.
Yeah, it just got A18. No Pro, no Bionic, just A18.
Yeah, that's it. That was about it, really. It's Apple's second generation 3 nanometer. Yeah, I mean the Pro doesn't seem like it's gone as fast, but obviously they're comparing that to the 17 Pro before rather than the 16. So.
Yeah, I was reading some bookmarks. I was reading some benchmarks earlier that looks like the A18 is now close to M1 speeds.
Oh, is it really?
As well.
Yeah. Well, it's meant to be getting a 15% uplift on CPU and 20% uplift on GPU. So there's still decent chunks of performance there. The hardware ray tracing is apparently improved. Again, you've got the same neural engine and memory bandwidth increases you're getting on the standard A18. It does add support for ProRes video encoding. It's got a new image signal processor and faster USB 3 speeds, apparently. Because the A18 still only has USB 2.
Of course.
Still. Really, still. I know it's got USB-C now, but at least give us USB 3 speeds.
So Apple sometimes is groundbreaking in their innovation and their development, and then they do stuff you're like,
and they're so
what?
backwards.
They're so backwards.
Yeah. What's the cost difference in that? Surely it's like 2p.
It can't be much. It can't be much at all. Surely.
It's probably USB 3 chip in it. They've just software limited it.
Oh god, yeah.
I don't know, but yeah. That's it. Software wise, though, obviously, September the 16th is launch.
So Monday coming.
Monday is launch day. The GA versions are already out. If you were on the public or dev betas, weren't they? They've come down. Yeah, so we'll get iOS 18, macOS 15, blah blah blah, watchOS 11, all on Monday.
Well, I was to say the RC's done. I've already updated my stuff already.
I'm just going to do the watch because I didn't do the beta on the watch, so I've got that downloading at the moment. But yeah, I did the phone.
But I think it's clear to point out, though, we won't be getting any Apple Intelligence features until the .1 release.
18.1. So get our new phones and then slap on 18.1 beta.
Which I'm already rocking. No, I'm not. I'm rocking that on the iPad. Sorry, aren't I?
On the iPad, yeah, but not the phone.
Not on the phone.
Yeah.
So you're right.
It gives us everyone a chance to get the release candidate, the GA 18 before the new phone comes up. So restoring is a bit easier.
Yeah, and then you're right. And getting ready for the Apple Intelligence pieces when it comes out. So no, I'm up for that. I've got a plan this evening to upgrade my current Mac to Sequoia. So that'll be a job for later. I'm not going to put 15.1 on it because it's a daily driver, so I'm not going to go down that road. And go from there. But yes, good. So the one thing then they also did, we didn't talk about, was they killed off the fine woven cases, didn't they?
Hurrah!
They have gone after a lot of backlash on how bad they were, how
people hated them. They were horrid, weren't they? The leather they had before they replaced fine woven with was durable. It aged nicely. They came out with fine woven, and apparently once you've marked it, you couldn't get rid of the marks. It looked terrible after days or weeks, but it was still the same price as a level one.
Yeah, and I don't understand though why they never created a pleather style case. To be fair,
they could have done that.
Could have done that, Instead, we ended up with this weird microplastic style case, which clearly can't have been that much better for.
It wasn't animal skin, but it was microplastic, and it's just as bad for the environment.
However, so it isn't. So the cases are going, but apparently it's going to live on in the MagSafe wallet, which is going to still remain in that material.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hurrah! We're glad that one is dead. But they didn't bring out a replacement, did they?
No, they didn't.
Got the silicon ones now. There is no replacement of anything. It's just there is now one line silicon cases.
So the other thing I guess to talk about is what we didn't get. And let's be honest, we kind of knew this was going to be an iPhone event. Obviously, we did going to get a watch. It was very, very unlikely we'd see any iPads or anything else.
So we didn't get iPads or Macs, no.
That being said, there are a few things that there were rumours on that we might see. So I guess let's run through a couple of those points. I guess the first one, AirPods Pro 3, we kind of talked about already.
Yeah. It was 4 years old, isn't it? Or thereabouts 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old. You expect a new one by now.
Yeah, so 2022, we got AirPods 2.
Oh, it's 2022, was it? So coming up
22.
to 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, we got the USB-C case last year.
Of course.
But rumors were we were going to get new ones with temperature sensors, all that kind of stuff. Didn't you remember?
Yeah.
But that never materialized.
Nope. We
the
didn't
other
get a
products
Watch Ultra 3.
didn't get a Watch Ultra 3. Absolutely, no Watch Ultra 3. Again, I do wonder. I keep saying it, but I do wonder whether or not that's related to the Maximo case. We didn't get a Watch SE update either.
So this is the one I thought we might actually get. This is the one where it's meant to be the Watch SE was moving to be made out of plastic, like the iPhone 5C was, and all sorts of really bright colors at a cheaper price point, great for kids, that kind of stuff. But no, we didn't get anything.
We didn't get at all. No Watch SE at all.
Maybe that's one for next year. Cause I think it's a good idea. But we didn't get it. We also didn't get a new iPhone SE4, did we?
No, we didn't. But if I recall, didn't they? They weren't released last time at the same time. I'm sure they were released later in the year, the fiscal year.
Just gonna look that one. Released.
I'm sure they were like a March release last time.
SE came out. March 18th, 2022.
Yeah, there you go. That's so. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bump in March with that.
Maybe it's a more of a business phone now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess they could do a press release with that one. That's not necessarily going to have to be driven through an event. I imagine that would be a press release job.
No, I say we didn't get any iPads. Rumors were we might be getting a new iPad Mini, but we did get no iPads. But again, they don't always come with in the phone show, do they?
No,
maybe
and we
get
could
in a couple of weeks or a month down the line. We might get another one or just a press release.
Yeah, you might get a press release. We also might get, an October event that has been done in the past, isn't it?
Yep.
And I guess that leads us nicely into we didn't get any new Macs either. So the M4, there are M4 Macs coming.
It's not now.
Just not now. I've got my eyes on a MacBook M4. I think that's probably a good option to upgrade.
So what's that to replace your
M1 MacBook
M1
Pro?
one? Yeah, okay.
So I think again, it's more likely these are going to be either October events or if there's nothing major, we're looking at a press release.
Yeah. But overall, it was all right. It was entertaining. I enjoyed watching the show. As you said, it went on a little long, I think. But yeah, it was all right. And they made some money out of us. You ordered a watch and a phone.
Yeah,
I've ordered 2 phones.
I mean, my days of upgrading every year are long gone.
I'm not that interested anymore. It's not my job either anymore. I'm not. Their job wasn't enterprise security for phones or not that anymore, like it used to be. So I'm less interested now.
Absolutely, you're right.
I could do another year on the 14.
I probably could do.
Scratches on the screen that are annoying me, performance-wise and feature-wise.
I probably could do.
Yeah, quite happily.
I probably could do. But no, it's time for our upgrade cycle. As you say, our worlds have changed. We don't need it every year, but I think giving a 2-year cycle gives us an opportunity to get all the latest features tested and out of the way before they come to us.
We will let you know. We'll report back next week if there are any last-minute changes at the Apple Store.
Yes, we will indeed. Well, that's probably a good place for us to wrap up for today then. It has been Glowtime, and yes, my wallet is now going, please stop. We'll be back next week with all the latest tech news and stuff. Of course, you can find us on X/Twitter, Weekly Tech Rant, and of course, wherever you get your podcast from, which you want to share with your friends, and of course, YouTube as well at Weekly Tech Rant. So, I've been Jay.
I've been Karl. Have a good day, all.